Welcome into Seattle Seahawks Today. I am Tom Downey, and today's show is presented by Magic Spoon. $5 off your first order when you go over to magicspoon.com/Seahawks. A disappointing result in this one for Seattle. They come up short on the road in overtime as the Steelers get the W 23-20. They ran the ball. Seattle did much better in the second half. It was a much better showing by Seattle as they rallied from down 14-0 in that one. It was a bad start for Seattle, but it wasn't enough in the end. They got to overtime. Geno Smith a chance to go win the game, and then fumbles, and it's just back-breaking end result there for Seattle. We'll talk injuries, Geno, and more, but first, give me your one-word reaction here to the Seahawks loss. Pain, brutal, sad, disappointing. Plenty of routes you guys can go there. So get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. One-word reaction. Let's start here with Geno Smith, who, was he the worst quarterback ever? No, I don't think that was the case. But he clearly wasn't good enough to get the win. I think that's very obvious in coming out of this game. Geno Smith is exactly who we thought he was. He's not going to be the type of guy who can win you games. And oh, by the way, this was one of the easier games, I think, on the Seahawks schedule. To not come away with a win was disappointing. That fumble, just absolutely backbreaking, and I know very painful for Geno himself. Clearly, the Seahawks missed Russell Wilson. I mean, there's no way around it from there. And that, of course, should surprise exactly 0 people. Like, the Seahawks missed Russell Wilson because the ground game got going in the second half. Alex Collins, weren't even coming up, played very well. Travis Homer had 2 nice runs. DJ Dallas was good on the ground. But the passing game was not there. 5 sacks, by the way, as TJ Watt just feasted on the Seahawks offensive line. Didn't help much either. I am of the belief that for a franchise that can never play a normal football game, that if Russell Wilson was out there for Seattle, beyond just his, I think, kind of weird pregame stuff of pretending to be in the huddle, whatever, and of course the going out for the coin toss in overtime, which was weird, Russ wins that game for Seattle. If the Seahawks had Russell Wilson out there and playing and the franchise quarterback you all know and love, that's a W for Seattle. Instead, they lose by 3 on the road against I don't think actually that good Pittsburgh Steelers team. So Seattle is now 2-4. They've got the Saints, the Jags, and the bye, then the Packers Cardinals. I think Russell Wilson back around then, but 3-5 start is very feasible. You hope to get to 3-4, but we'll see. Or 4-4, but we'll see. It's not a great start for Seattle before the bye. So what is your panic level right now over the Seahawks season? 1 being you're not worried at all, a minor setback for a major comeback. 100 being you're freaking out and the year's over. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So with the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and let me know. I do want to say that I was impressed, predominantly that second half, out of Alex Collins. He was not in the game late, and I believe he got a bit banged up. I haven't seen anything official yet from Seattle about that potential injury for Alex Collins, but he ran for 100 yards. 1 touchdown and 20 carries, 5 yards per touch. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense in the second half couldn't stop the run. It was pretty wild. Like, it was just run up the middle, duo runs that were inside zone, and 2, I can't remember which. And Collins just was eating, feasting. He was all over that Steelers defense. And look, the ground game woke up in the second half. Travis Homer, 2 carries, 27 yards. DJ Dallas, 4 carries, 17 yards. Dallas and Homer combined for 50 yards through the air, by the way. The running backs fared well. That's maybe your bigger positive thing coming out of this. But it was not enough as Seattle comes up short. If you want to stop coming up short in either the health or the taste side with your breakfast cereal, try Magic Spoon. $5 off your first order. That link, by the way, will be in the comments section and in the description. It's magicspoon.com/Seahawks. Tons of flavors and variety. Got the frosted up there, the blueberry, the cocoa. and the cinnamon as well. I got the cocoa right here. I got maple waffle as well. Tons of flavors for you guys. 13 grams of protein, 4 grams of net carbs, 0 sugar, sometimes higher in protein, maybe higher in carbs. The peanut butter's got more protein, for example. But they've all got 0 sugar. And despite that, it tastes absolutely incredible. So get $5 off at magicspoon.com/Seahawks. Now, for a more serious note here, Darrell Taylor, very scary injury late in this game, left the game on a stretcher. Troubling situation, troubling moment for Seattle. Was taken to the hospital. He was talking, moving his legs. We don't know much beyond that at this point. I hope everything is okay with Darrell Taylor. I think I said Darrell. Either way, Darrell Taylor, if I mispronounced it earlier, sorry. Troubling, concerning moment. I hope he's okay. No further details. Just pray and hope that everything's okay with Taylor, who was, by the way, playing very well again in this one. You just hope he's okay health-wise moving forward. All right, more Seahawks injury notes here. Sidney Jones left the game with a chest injury, did not return. Maybe injury. Tre Brown played pretty great, though. We'll get to him later on in the show. Damien Lewis also left the game with a shoulder injury, and Jamarco Jones was not good in replacement of Lewis, says that's a red flag for Seattle. Their starting left guard. I don't have further details beyond that shoulder injury. I am sure Pete Carroll will have some soon in the near future. Folks, we are up to 23,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much. But if you want more videos here on our Seahawks channel, all for free, by the way, it's very simple. Hit that big red button and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on anything here. Just the season's underway. We're not going anywhere. So subscribe today. Let's talk defense now for Seattle. And overall, if I had told you the Steelers scored 20 points in regulation, I would have said, okay, Seattle should have a chance. And they did. And I don't think the defense was bad. A little high in the rushing yards, not bad in the passing yards. Big Ben missed some throws, by the way. That kind of got bailed out. I don't think the defense was bad. But there are a lot of what are you doing out there moments. For example, the early touchdown. Why on earth is Benson Mayowa a pass rusher in coverage, man-to-man, against Najee Harris? That's bad defense. That's bad scheming. That's a bad play call. Don't do that. Figure out something better than Mayowa on a good receiving back in Najee Harris in coverage. That's a failure of your coaching staff. I don't think the defense was bad per se, but I do think they weren't good enough either. Now, again, if you got a better quarterback in there, I think you win the game. I'm not blaming the Seahawks defense for the loss, really. I think I'm more blaming the lack of Russell Wilson and the injuries in the offense and the O-line getting roasted by TJ Watt for the main reason why the Seahawks lost. But it is a loss, and that's always disappointing if you're a Seahawks fan. So with that in mind, grade the Seahawks for me in Week 6. A, B, C, D, or F. Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Let's talk Jamal Adams now as Blitz Boy, which is not an insult because he's good at blitzing. Did blitz a little bit more today. Early on in the game, then kind of tapered off, which I don't know about. Had a potential massive changing point interception. It was a terrible throw by Big Ben that hit Jamal Adams square in the face chest. It was hilarious how that was not caught. He was not ready for it. He was ready for the hit, and the throw was so bad that he just wasn't prepared for it. But you're going to announce yourself as the best in the nation pre-game. Kind of got to make that play in the end if you're Jamal Adams. So I don't think he was bad. I thought he made some good plays in run support near the box. But, again, got to figure out how to use him better. I don't think Seattle's figured that out quite yet. How about the play, though, at a Tre Brown? I was very impressed by the young rookie corner. 3 tackles, a massive one on a third down, by the way, blew up. I think it was Johnson? I think it was DeAndre Johnson. I can't remember who it was in the end. Ray McLeod. Thank you, Sam. Good couple plays as well in coverage, allowed to targeted, allowed no completion. Overall, a couple of those examples there did get beat a few times. I thought Brown played well. In fact, I now wonder if, with Sidney Jones banged up, and if we're being honest and objective, not playing that well anyway, Time to start Tre Brown. Brown and DJ Reed are very unlike the normal Pete Carroll corners. They're typically like them bigger and longer. That's not Brown and that's not Reed. But I thought Reed played pretty decently as well tonight. So what do you think? Should Seattle start Tre Brown at the corner position? Get your votes in for me. Y for yes, they should, or N for no, they should not. I want to talk about the receivers here before we go. It always intrigues me, confuses me, whatever phrase you want to use there, as to how Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf never seem to have big games together. Now, again, quarterback, a big part of this, but Lockett, 7 targets, 2 catches, 35 yards. DK Metcalf, 7 targets, 6 catches, 58 yards. Oh, by the way, DK, get out of bounds. I don't understand what he was doing on the fumble that nearly ended the game in regulation. You got to get out of bounds there, DK. It's not that hard. Just step out, take the yards, kick the field goal, and go from there. The Seahawks offense, I would have preferred more touches early for Tyler Lockett. They very much in the second half went Pete Carroll game plan, run the football, and it worked. So no complaints, it worked. But I do think next week against a Saints defense Saints team that is just as good, if not better than Pittsburgh, you got to get Tyler Lockett going. I don't see any way around that if you're Seattle. A disappointing, painful Week 6 loss here for the Seahawks. 23-20, the final in this one in overtime. You were hoping for a better result. Seattle had a chance. In the end, Geno Smith is not Russ, and the Seahawks come up short in this one.